WWE release shocker. Roman Reigns under fire. CM Punk backlash grows. WWE drama explodes. WWE chaos unfolds. Could WWE be dealing with a problem much bigger than fans realize? And what if two of the company's biggest names are suddenly finding themselves at the center of completely different storms at exactly the same time? Because right now, that's exactly what seems to be happening. One WWE release has sparked a wave of questions. Roman Reigns is facing growing backlash from certain corners of the wrestling world, and CM Punk, a man who somehow manages to become the center of conversation even when he's not holding a microphone, is once again under the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And the strange part? These stories may look completely separate on the surface, but together they paint a picture of a company dealing with tension, uncertainty, and a fan base that is asking tougher questions than ever before. Before we get into all of it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a like if you enjoy staying on top of the biggest WWE stories. Also, let me know in the comments which topic interests you the most, because this situation has wrestling fans talking from every possible angle. Let's start with the release that has everybody talking. Whenever WWE releases talent, the reaction is almost immediate. Social media explodes, fans start investigating every little detail, and suddenly everybody becomes a wrestling detective. A superstar changes their profile picture and people start creating theories that look like something pulled straight from a crime documentary. You know exactly how wrestling fans operate. One vague tweet and suddenly half the internet believes a secret backstage conspiracy has been uncovered. But jokes aside, releases always hit differently because they remind people of an uncomfortable reality. No matter how successful WWE becomes, no matter how much money the company makes, and no matter how exciting the current product feels, professional wrestling remains a business. Talent can be incredibly skilled. Talent can be popular. Talent can have passionate fan support. And yet none of that guarantees long-term security. That's why these announcements always create strong reactions. Some fans feel WWE made the right decision. Others feel opportunities were never properly given. Some believe certain stars deserved better. Others argue that difficult business decisions are simply part of the industry. It's a debate that never truly ends. Every release creates questions. Could things have been handled differently? Was the talent used correctly? Did WWE miss an opportunity? Those discussions can continue for months, sometimes even years. What's interesting this time is how quickly the conversation expanded beyond the release itself. Instead of focusing on one individual situation, fans started discussing bigger issues. They started talking about opportunities, favoritism, company priorities, and who truly holds influence within WWE. And somehow, that conversation eventually led many people toward Roman Reigns. Now let's be honest here. Roman Reigns remains one of the biggest stars WWE has produced in modern history. Whether you're a fan of his work or not, the impact is impossible to ignore. The Bloodline storyline dominated wrestling conversations for years. Merchandise moved. Ratings improved. Live crowds reacted. WWE built an entire era around Roman Reigns, and for a very long time that strategy worked incredibly well. But success comes with a price. The bigger the star becomes, the more criticism follows. Every decision involving Roman gets analyzed. Every appearance becomes a major topic. Every storyline direction gets debated by fans, podcasters, former wrestlers, and practically anyone with access to the internet. Recently, some fans have become increasingly vocal about what they see as special treatment. Others completely disagree. Some believe Roman has earned every privilege through years of hard work and carrying the company during difficult periods. Others argue WWE relies too heavily on him. Some believe his limited appearances make him feel special. Others wish he appeared more frequently. And that's what makes this discussion so fascinating. Two fans can watch the exact same WWE show and come away with completely different opinions. One person sees a legendary attraction. Another sees overprotection. One sees careful long-term storytelling. Another sees favoritism. And both sides are absolutely convinced they're right. Meanwhile, Roman is probably sitting somewhere enjoying life while the internet argues itself into exhaustion. Still, the Backlash discussion continues because expectations surrounding Roman Reigns are enormous. When you're positioned at the top for years, people naturally begin looking closer. They question decisions. They question opportunities. They question whether everyone is being treated equally. And once those conversations start, they rarely disappear quickly. But if Roman Reigns is facing criticism from one direction, CM Punk is dealing with an entirely different kind of controversy. And honestly, does anybody remember a time when CM Punk wasn't at the center of some wrestling debate? At this point, controversy and CM Punk seem to share the same zip code. The moment Punk's name enters a conversation, opinions immediately become divided. Some fans view him as one of the most influential performers of his generation. Others believe he attracts drama wherever he goes. Most people probably fall somewhere in the middle. But recently, criticism surrounding Punk has started growing once again. This time, the focus isn't necessarily on what happens inside the ring. Instead, people are talking about influence, power, authority, and backstage pull. Those are dangerous topics in wrestling because the industry has always been filled with stories about politics behind the scenes. Some stories are true. Some stories are exaggerated. And some are so ridiculous they sound like rejected television scripts. Yet fans continue discussing them because wrestling has always blurred the line between reality and speculation. The latest conversations surrounding CM Punk revolve around whether his voice carries greater influence than others within WWE. Does management listen differently when Punk speaks? Does his opinion carry more weight? Does his position affect decisions behind the scenes? These questions continue circulating throughout the wrestling community. And as usually happens, solid answers remain difficult to find. Opinions, however, are everywhere. Fans have opinions. Journalists have opinions. Former wrestlers have opinions. Podcasters definitely have opinions. Sometimes it feels like the only people without opinions are the people actually involved. The challenge with modern wrestling news is that narratives move incredibly fast. A report appears. People react. Speculation begins. Theories spread. Before long, assumptions start sounding like confirmed facts. That's why it's important to separate rumors from reality. Not every report tells the complete story. Not every accusation turns out to be accurate. Not every theory survives close examination. But perception matters. And right now, perception has placed CM Punk directly under the microscope. His supporters argue that he has earned respect through decades of contributions to the wrestling industry. His critics argue that too much influence concentrated around one individual can create problems. The truth, as usual, is probably more complicated than either side wants to admit. What cannot be denied is that CM Punk remains one of the most talked about names in wrestling. Whether fans love him, criticize him, support him, or question him, they continue talking about him.